If Pep and Jurgen Klopp ever linked up to run a high school program, this would be it. Today's Mas Futbol Podcast, we're joined by the dynamic duo behind Southeast High School girls soccer. Together, they turned the Spartans into one of the most exciting teams in OKC, mixing passion, discipline, and some serious tactical know-how. That was a little too much, guys.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. All right, well, regardless, I got that one. Joe, how are you guys, my friends?
Doing good. Thank you for having us, Ricardo.
I appreciate you guys for coming on the podcast. This is a late podcast. It's 10:20 p.m., but, you know, we had scheduled it for 10, and we're here. And, dude, how has the season been for you guys so far?
Well, it didn't end the way we wanted it to. We're hoping to be playing in May, but unfortunately it ended early for us.
You guys were supposed to play in playoffs?
We were supposed to play in playoffs, yeah. So that was the whole plan. So you reached out, like a week ago, and we were like hopping on this and then talking about playing the playoffs and, you know, but...
Yeah, to provide some context, I guess we can say that the playoff bracket was released today.
Correct.
And we all kind of know what kind of has been going on, I guess, with the whole situation about the extra games being played and whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess from the Southeast girls side of it, right? You guys, what place were you guys in? Like, I guess, can you explain where you guys were at the season?
So when the news came out Friday, we were sitting at the 4th seed. Duncan had already won the game. I want to say around lunchtime. They had already won the game. And Santa Fe South had already forfeited the game. And so that put us in a situation that we needed to win on Friday because of the forfeited games. And we knew that going into the game. We spoke to the girls about needing the importance of the game, which they knew how important the game was. Even that last Tuesday when we played, we went to Elgin and won there. So they knew the importance of the game and how we needed to win. So fortunately, we didn't get the result we wanted. We ended up losing to Lawton Mac, 1-0.
Damn, 1-0, bro?
1-0. Yeah.
What happened? Game was close, probably. Anything can happen, you know.
Game was close.
Give me the rundown.
I think it was a close game. It was one. It came down to one play, I think.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it was one of those games that, like, whoever scores wins the game. You know how you know back in the day you're playing. When it gets dark, and you'll say, "Hey, let's go wins." It was kind of like that, I think. I kind of about halftime, I kind of knew that this game was going to be a one goal game, and unfortunately for us,
I felt for them.
Yeah.
So then that took you guys out of the position that you guys were supposed to be
because of the head-to-head with Santa Fe South. Yeah.
And then the news comes out, and then you guys are expecting them not to be in the playoffs. But
so we thought that because it came out Friday that the forfeits, we thought that the league would come out and say something the following week, which was Monday, but there wasn't anything said.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what ended up, what the ruling ended up being on their side.
Yeah.
I guess people want to know, but
yeah.
But it's a shame, dude. I'm sorry that that happened, that it had to go down that way.
Yep.
It's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys had a lot of great moments this season.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we competed against some really good teams. We really did. We made it to the final against Union.
A
tournament. Yeah, it was exciting. It came down to the last 5 minutes, and we conceded a goal. It was kind of like a scrappy goal, and we conceded in the last 5-6 minutes, I think. And then at that point, it's like I'm taking a defender out, I'm putting a striker in, I'm chasing the game, and then leaves us open, and we conceded another one, so we ended up losing 2-0. But it was a good experience for the girls. It was, 6-8 competition, and I told them that don't be discouraged, and that's a team like that, a team dynamic like that is something that we're working towards being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big programs.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
for
are
sure.
hitting above your belt.
Yeah. So last year, I told them that they had put the standards really high, and they even raised them this year. They raised them even more. So,
Joe, is this your first year at Southeast?
This is my second year. I did 1 year with Gustavo with the girls team. I think my first year was 2023. Took 24 off, and then had the time to, or had to find the time to come back this year. Part-time assistant, volunteer coach. Doing some 1 or 2 sessions out of the week, practicing games, and I was very excited to work with Gustavo again because our first season was very good and together, and the group of girls were fun, and they were competing and showing up to improve, and that's kind of the direction he wanted to go because previously with the girls at Southeast they didn't have an environment to really challenge them and really improve their game. So whenever he kind of was assigned head coach over there and invited me my first year, and missing out on the second year where he was able to still be successful with the program and do a lot of things to lead the program with the other staff members and the other players throughout the season. But this year was a lot. It happened pretty fast, and
it always goes by super fast.
It happens super fast.
I was just talking to somebody. Playoffs already? Like, damn.
Yeah, we were building up the conversation of, like, if I was able to come back this season in, November, December, and, here we are, entering May, and, to look back at the season from beginning to end, it's like, it was a grind, and, I'm glad to be working with staff and players that are willing to grind, and, from beginning to end, and even though it didn't turn out how we wanted it to be, I just think, overall the experience was, it's going to make us better for sure. And, very proud to, be representing Southeast. The girls program's improving and growing. The boys program, they'll continue to play at a high level as well. And, we just hope both programs, continue to succeed and showcase what Southeast has for the student athletes there. It's been 10 years since I graduated, and I feel like every year it's growing and growing, and that's a good direction that we want from Oklahoma City and the players around here to witness this growth. I think this season, before spring break, I didn't get too much sessions in, but after spring break, I was able to be a present in the district and the practices and the games, but before spring break, the preseason area was like all city, and to see that that's available for the kids in OKCPS nowadays is cool. It's very neat that they all get to come together and showcase their pride and their competitiveness on the field for the boys and the girls. And
Southeast ended up winning, right? Both boys and girls.
Boys and girls, yeah. And something
those claps that you guys wanted.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if a lot of people know, but we decided to do a JV tournament, and we also won that as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
both
huge.
Boys and girls.
That's huge. Yeah, I remember seeing the ACC, both boys and girls ended up winning it, and that was a good statement to be making at the beginning of the season, so that's huge. So what, Coach Joe's back for next season? Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Did he pass? Okay.
Yeah, he passed. I'm signing him to a long-term contract. Yeah. We've been talking about what the future can look like and just the plans that we have, and really the plans we have for the summer. We're excited to get started. So
if you guys had to pick, like, what are some of the things that that you would quickly shoot out, are some of the things you guys might work on for next season?
If
you don't want to divulge too much.
Player development for sure. Player development, and then just the opportunity for the girls to have, to be able to just play. Play more. Football. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mas Futbol. There you go. I think in the past it's been limited, right? Well, especially from a girl's view. There's not enough opportunities for the girls to play other than playing club, but that's not
Yeah, for someone isn't available.
Exactly.
The option isn't available.
Yeah, so creating that opportunity and just having a way for them to, improve, and I think it means a lot. It means a lot to them, and yeah, I think that's something that we're going to focus on for sure, the player development.
Have you guys talked about doing anything with like the middle schools that go into Southeast?
I spoke to Manuel.
What schools
Limas,
go into Southeast?
Southeast Middle. Yeah,
Middle
he's
School?
in charge of the girls there, and I'm kind of glad that he's there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mac, you guy.
Yeah, Mikey guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Or
kind of glad that
everywhere,
he's
bro.
there, and he's worked his butt off too. So shout out to him. Seriously, shout out to him. And so the reason I say that is because this year, like, if I compare like all of my freshman class, this year's freshman, I feel like is one of the best in terms of like,
What they have,
yeah, and the amount of girls too. Before it was only
How long has Limas been at middle school?
2 years, I think.
And you said you've been there for 3 years at the high school?
5 years.
You've been there for
5
years?
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, it's important. Like once you get there for 4 years and you get to see your first cycle.
Yeah.
But not only that, now you've seen like 2 pair of
Yeah.
groups that you've had.
This year's freshmen were my first freshmen, or no, this year's seniors were my first freshmen. Yeah. But going back to the this year's freshmen, they're like, if I compare them to my other freshman classes, they're probably one of my best ones. Now, the other classes had 1 or 2, good players, but this year's freshman class, there's numerous, and it shows. Like, if you go back, look at the tape, there's plenty of freshmen starting in every playoff, in every game.
Yeah, I definitely think they have the most potential moving forward with the program. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're very, they come in as freshmen and really kind of improved week by week. They adapted very well. They took on the challenges. They played against some very tough opponents this season, whether it was a tournament game or a district game. And, the freshmen came up clutch in some moments that really helped the team, get the result that they wanted. And, I think all the other class members really appreciated that as well. Just to see that everyone in each class can commit to the program and really, have an opportunity to create a highlight for the team, and that's what we started to see throughout the season, that, different players from different classes were able to, have some good actions out there on the field and showcase some good abilities. So I think that's why, moving forward with our program, it is going to make us stronger that we're able to look that deep onto our team, not only just the starting 11, but even deeper into the bench, to see that, we're putting out a strong team out there every time, we're playing.
Who's the pep and who's the club?
I think he's Pep and I'm club. Yeah, more. I bring the energy and more vocal, and then he kind of just, if I ever like have a question about something, I always go to him and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or he'll just tell me like, hey, we should do this. And let me go ahead and do it.
Yeah, we definitely talk about details on attacking moments and defensive moments, and I think we work very well with each other, even though it's like we're very competitive and very different styles of personalities. But I think together it is a good mix, and with our other coaches that we have on the team as well, we're a good team together. To be able to just share feedback to our players, and we want to continue our coaches' education too, and continue to gain a leadership and be able to share that experience with our players. Just be able to improve not only ourselves, but to pass that on to our players.
I think it's important to know that, like, for this to work, like, everybody on the coaching staff has to have an open-minded, right? It can't just be, oh, I'm the head coach, like whatever he says doesn't matter. I have to have an open-minded, and I have to listen. I'm not saying that like everything that he tells me I'm doing, right? I sometimes question. I say, okay, what do you think about this, or what if this happens? And then, we go on from
Yeah,
there.
work it out.
And we work it out. Yeah.
That's exciting, dude. I'm excited. I wish I could coach high school, maybe one day, but
Yeah, it's totally fun. Way different than club. You know, playing was already a fun thing. High school varsity. But 10 years ago it wasn't all the hype how it is now. So
yeah, because now it's different, right?
Yeah, it's
now
totally
everyone
different.
has an Instagram account.
Everybody has
wants to
Instagram.
shout out.
Exactly.
There's videos everywhere. You can clip. Clip your own highlights. Clip your teammates' highlights. Share it.
How many clips would Gustavo have? Did you get to play with Gustavo in high school?
Yeah, I think 2 season. 2 years. 2 years with Gustavo. Yeah.
Because you were older,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Do you have clips? Do you have clips in your head of yourself scoring some? ¿Cuánto se da? ¿Cuánto se da?
Man.
Too many. Your hard drive is full of clips.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I wish it was different, but I mean, I don't know. Tell me about a good win that you guys had. You guys had an overtime win, right? I have the schedule pulled up because I have points that I wanted to talk about.
Elgin in PKs.
Yeah, that was our latest one.
Yeah, that was the
Elgin.
PK. Yeah, we went to PKs and keeper came up big. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, all the wins were very competitive.
Yeah.
I think all the differences, wins and losses, were just told by one goal. One goal was the difference. Whether we conceded or we were the final finisher. It was very balanced matches that we had this season.
That district was
and I think
one of the best.
I think one of the best ones was Duncan, Elgin, and I didn't really get to experience the All-City tournaments, but the All-City tournaments I'm sure were a good feeling because I think they're runner-up in the last couple of seasons, and so now to win this season should have been a highlight for sure for the players and the staff and the school.
So it seems like we got a lot to look forward to there for the upcoming
If you look
season.
at the schedule, I think because we lost to Mac by 1, we lost to Noble by 1, we lost to Santa Fe by 1. So
yeah, and
you
one
know
goal,
what I mean?
it could have gone any other way.
Yeah,
The wind could have been blowing the other direction. You know what I mean? And honestly, the wind is crazy here, so you never know. But
and we did have games like that the wind affected the game at the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, the Chickasha tournament was so bad. It was like 80-mile wind. Choctaw tournament.
Yeah,
the Choctaw was
that was that weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
My son actually had surgery on that day, and I remember coming out, and it was terrible, dude.
Yep.
And we were lucky that day to have the win on our side and get a
all
goal
the
from
debris
30.
and stuff in the air.
You guys went to the Allstate selections today, right?
Yeah, I did, yes.
How was that?
So we were just talking about it, and I mentioned it to the girls. This year is the first year Southeast has had more than one All-Stater make it.
Really?
So we not only do we have one or two, we have
Oh, so you have three All-Staters?
Yeah, we had 3 All-Staters.
When does that list come out?
By
the time this episode comes out,
it should be.
already out.
Yeah, it should be out.
Tomorrow?
Probably. We had our goalie and our 2 center backs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Congratulations to that.
Yeah.
dude.
Congratulations to them.
You
Araceli, shout out to you. Vane, shout out to you. And Andrea, shout out to you guys. You guys worked hard. Yeah. And believe it or not, and I haven't told them this, but they hold a special place in my heart. Just because they've been there since day one.
The freshmen.
Freshman year.
Yeah.
Especially Solis and Vane. They remember going in my first year, like, this is probably going to sound mean, but they didn't know how to kick a ball.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, they were bad.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yeah.
Their first season was rough.
Yeah. Andrea, she was playing basketball. And I remember the first game, it was her first day out there. Her first day out there, because she had just finished basketball. And we put in Solis as goalie. She gets hurt. Her freshman year, she was wearing glasses. And like there was a collision, and then it hits her head or whatever, her eye, and it starts bleeding. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I have no goalie, right? And then here comes Andrea, a freshman, is like, oh, I play goalie. I'm like, what? And then she goes in there and like
He kills it.
He kills it. And I'm like, what the heck? What is this?
As being
Where
an
you
All-Stater.
been?
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Imagine if she didn't get hit in the face with the glasses. She probably wouldn't have ended up an All-Stater as a goalie.
maybe.
That's crazy. That's hilarious too, though.
Yeah. I think things happen for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to them, man.
Yeah,
First time
big
the
time.
Southeast has had 3 All-Staters and an honorable mention, you said, right?
Honorable mention, yeah, Alexa. Fortunately, she
Tore her ACL.
partial ACL, and I think it was tibia.
Was it no way? So like a bone?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it like a collision?
On her knee, yeah.
Oh, that's terrible, bro.
Cleat to just
No way.
yeah.
Where?
Where?
Like where was that? I could see.
Was that McGinnis? We played at
As a Bishop.
against
Not Paulo's team.
No, not
Who
Paulo's
coaches
team.
the girls? Cal still coaches the girls. That's terrible, bro. Nobody ever wants to see that happen.
Yeah, freshman year, and her situation's, it sucks because I think it was last year where it was the first year she actually finished the whole season of playing.
No way, because of injuries? Yeah, because she came back from an injury and then had that happen.
Freshman, she was injured. Sophomore, she was injured. Last year was the first time she actually finished. She actually played in the playoff game. And then this year, she goes down right before District 2.
Joe, you've never had an injury like that, have you? Fortunately,
not with surgery to have a recovery. 6 months. Not like that.
Not like
that.
Last year,
bruising and sprains.
Tore my ACL.
No way.
Yeah.
Where?
Southeast.
We
were training.
No way.
I swear.
What the fuck happened?
Non-contact.
No
I was
way.
just I was just running and
boom.
I planted and pow. Yeah.
How does it feel now?
There's still some discomfort, but a lot better. I'm playing now. I'm playing a little bit indoor. So.
That's crazy. That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
That's
I'm motivated though. Like, man,
getting back in it.
I was talking to Miller, Kyle Miller. You probably know. He went to MacU too, and he also had his messed up knee. And I was going to tell him he just started walking, but he walked in here with no crutches. And I was like, dude, Miller, you're crazy. But yeah,
yeah, it sucks. I don't recommend it. And like, if someone ever does, like, man, I feel sorry for you.
How did you deal with having to sit?
So it sucks, but thankfully, my son was just born.
No way, you had a son?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
crazy. Here, you definitely.
Second on the way, by the way.
No mames.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cálmate.
Yeah.
Alza la pistola. Sorry.
Yeah, my son was born in April, and I had surgery in July. So, funny story.
Damn. That's good because at that age, Joe, you might not know this, but that guy's not running around that much at that age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So, funny story.
He's a newborn, you know what I mean?
I'll give you $20 if you guess the day I tore my ACL. It's a special day.
How am I gonna guess? It's
a special day in your family.
In my family?
Like no, just
our family, Hispanic's family.
No. In my family, I guess you could say.
Nah, pues sabe. January 1st.
My wife's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, really? Fell on her birthday?
Yeah. So, on her birthday, I tear my ACL.
No.
Mm-hmm.
She has a special day then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I turned my ACL June 4th, and then July 11th, I have surgery.
Damn.
My son was born in April.
In April?
So I got to spend time. I got to spend the whole summer just laying on the couch with kind of him by my side. And
how old is your son?
He's 1 now.
1 now?
Yeah.
My daughter is 9 months now, going on 10. And she is,
Yeah.
No.
So,
yeah.
Me and some of my friends were building a team.
Kids that age?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. No, there's plenty. There's Chava.
Yeah. He just had
Caesar Romero has one.
Joe, bro, come on, man, you're slacking.
You and Nani.
I have some other guys that we have in mind.
Oscar.
So we're
Uncle Joe just show up.
I'm just on.
He's probably gonna coach him.
My niece just turned 1.
Well, there you go. See, there's another one.
Yeah.
No, we
gonna just coach.
Yeah, I have a list
of kids that age.
Yeah. I'm just waiting. What, like 3, 4? 3, 4. It's on. It's on.
I tried, dude. My kid doesn't like soccer. But I feel like some kids are built with the ability to play sports and others aren't. And my son is just very introverted.
You have more than one, right?
I have 3.
Neither one play?
No.
Actually?
No, the 2 don't play. The youngest doesn't play yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still have hope. Let me fix this camera. You can keep going though.
Yeah, I say that he's gonna play, but man, I don't. Like you say, who knows? Maybe. I mean, hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. I think as long as he plays any sports, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, ya veremos. But let's switch the subject because Joe doesn't have kids and he doesn't have anything to add to this.
He's in a coaching though.
I just got my niece her first ball, so I'll be starting the sessions soon. My new project.
Hey, how much are you gonna charge for privates?
My niece? No charge. No charge.
No charge for your charge. In that case, then my son.
Maybe I guess at the end when we get the contract, I'll have to tax her. But
let's use this as a good moment to segue into training. Right, training. I don't know if you know, but Sunrise Soccer is coming back in June.
We'll be there.
July, you're gonna be there.
We'll be there. Yeah, this time. Last year I said I was gonna be there, and I didn't show up. But this year for sure we're gonna be there.
Well, while you still have your high school students, let them know that they have an opportunity to volunteer. If they need volunteer hours, they can definitely rack them up with us.
Yeah.
We can use them the first and the second week, and then bring them along the third week to have a session in June, and then we'll start back up in July. And it'll be elementary, middle school, and high school. Registration will be out soon, so let them know.
Yeah.
And back to the regular program.
Sunrise Soccer. Remember
Sunrise
that one?
Soccer,
We
yeah.
started at Wheeler Park.
Yeah.
Now we're at Scissortail
You
Park.
were one of the originals that showed up,
original,
as was Chava
Yeah.
and the Heronville kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the OGs. What do you think? What do you think about the project now? Seeing
Dude,
it from that to this.
Awesome, fantastic. I love the idea. I love just the program that you guys created, and I was happy to be part of it. Happy to say that I was one of the OGs, and man, I hope this year goes even better than last year.
Every year gets better, and you know what we have this year that we didn't have before? ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, dude. This beer is hitting. It's late. I needed to relax, so I had a beer. But
Yeah, man. I wish Barca would have won so I can have another beer too.
yeah, dude. That Barca 4-4 game against Inter was crazy.
It was 3-3.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, 3-3.
It was a 3-3.
Yeah.
What a game,
Intense
dude.
Intense.
Yeah.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched the one today.
I
Yeah.
caught pieces of it. Did you get to see it?
No.
It was intense, dude. They go down with the quickest goal ever scored
Yeah.
in Champions League history.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? Yamal scores. He ties it.
Yeah.
And then Inter go up again. And then Barca go up. And then an own goal brings them back to 3-3. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
Goal,
good match.
what is that?
Good match.
That's
If we
trash.
had more time, we would have won the game.
Yamal?
So we'll see them the next leg.
I'm gonna be
So we
honest.
can win the
I
game.
stopped watching it since when Liverpool got eliminated.
Really?
I'm a Liverpool fan.
Hey, well, congratulations, bro. You guys
Yeah, I
won the
Premier
EPL.
League. Yeah.
That's,
But to go back on the OG story, he was one of the OGs, and I think he was coaching the high school boys at the time.
you were?
Yeah.
And then they ended up winning state.
That's
at
right.
that
You
year
did take him
before
to
COVID, right?
Right before COVID, yeah. Yeah, because then the next year, yeah, the seniors didn't have a season.
The COVID year. So where do you keep your ring?
I'm gonna be honest. So I have like a gaming room. I have like where I play video games, which I haven't played in a long time, but just right under my console.
Right
Like-
under the console. And a frame with some lights on or nothing?
No,
Just right
it's
there?
Just right there, honestly.
Where would I keep one if I had one, right? I don't know.
I
guess we'll never know.
It's one of those things that like, yeah, the ring's cool, but the memory and the experience that
Yeah.
never goes away.
Do you ever relive that moment?
When we, when I sit back and talk with some of the players, yeah, we just kind of like, man, remember that day? We show up to Southeast High School. Everyone's all dressed up and stuff, and if you look at the pictures, everyone's dressed up with their white shirts and their black ties, all looking professional. Show up to the game. Everyone's kind of like looking at us like, what is that, a soccer team? Like, who's that? And obviously the coaches are dressed professionally as well.
Did you have to buy a suit or did you already have
Already
a
had
suit?
one, yeah.
Oh,
Already
okay.
had one.
It was a nice suit, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, so we show up all professional and stuff, and I remember on the way back after the game, just kind of sitting in
Who
the
did you
bus.
play again?
Fort Gibson.
For Gibson, okay.
Fort Gibson, and actually, they had beat us the year before in the semifinals. Yeah,
So you guys were on a
we
mission.
we got to get them back.
And this was 4A, right?
Right
before they went up to 5A.
Yeah. That year, man, it was crazy.
Why?
Crazy. Just like starting the season against Grant, losing, getting, I would say, destroyed by US Grant. That Grant team was really good. like really good. Like the Marquez brothers were on that team. Kenny was on that team. Mario was on that team. I mean, great players. We were
a young Gustavo on the sideline.
Yeah.
Young Pep.
We were still figuring out like our formation and personnel, and so we were figuring that out. But then after that, we didn't lose a single game. We didn't lose a single game. There's one game that I'm never gonna forget against Clinton. I think it was third round it was second round. They're undefeated. They're like 17-0 at this point. 17-0.
Clinton went on a run.
Yeah. They didn't lose a single game up until that game. We had to go to Clinton, so we go to Clinton. Beat
What
them.
was that called? They have
Tornado.
The Tornado Bowl.
The Tornado Bowl. We go to another funny story. Their stadium was brand new that year, so we go to the new Tornado Bowl, and we beat them.
Undefeated.
4-2. We conceded like Barca basically. First minute, like just first kick, we conceded 1-0. And I mean,
what does coach do at that time?
Dude, it's like, I kid you not, it's like, I said to myself, dang, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night. And then at that point, I mean, you can't give up because it's the first minute of the game. It's like, come on, put the ball in the middle, let's go.
Hell no, we're not giving up first minute of the game.
No,
keep going. I'm going to get loose. Let me grab another beer. Dale.
Right. But the whole crowd is there. Like, just pretend. I mean, Clinton's is not a big, big town, but they have.
But they get behind their sports.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole stadium is packed. I mean, just jam packed. It's Friday night. And then you got us, just a couple of admin and then a couple of parents, and that's it. And the team.
That's all you need.
That's all. That's it.
Look, I'm sorry to take you away from what you've done, but have you ever had Doña Chelada?
I have not.
Dude, if you pick this up in Morelos, dude, this is bomb. If you love micheladas like I do, I drink them like what? This will make me drink beers like water. It's crazy. But keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the most memorable games.
Try it.
The Clinton game that year. But anyways, going back to the state game. After the game is like, I was in the bus, and then I get on the bus. I sit down because we're obviously in Tulsa, so it's about a 2-hour drive at the time. And then I sit down. It's like, I just feel so relaxed. It's like all this weight off my shoulders, just like, and I just sit back like this, just enjoy the ride.
You didn't say, bring me the trophy. Let me take the Kobe picture. I seen him as.
No. It was that was it. That was just like, just weight off the shoulders. I finally did it. First ever at Southeast history.
Do you think it's true? They say the first one's hard, but the second one's harder.
Probably. I mean that's. Yeah, I would say so because we haven't won one since.
Man,
what was cool about that too is how we just started the football factory and started covering high school soccer and how that just season was playing out, and our following was growing from just barely like 100 to 300 to 1,000. Yeah. We're in this season, and you shared our audience.
Dude, I think we went live.
Yeah.
I think
live? You guys.
Javier went live.
And our audience is
yeah. You guys did it live.
Now.
And I remember like that following week, you guys go up to Southeast and.
I did go and record a vlog.
A vlog, yeah. And we showed that.
Out there.
Yeah, we showed that like we didn't have a field at the time.
We were cracking jokes on the video too.
Yeah, we didn't have field at the time. They were like working on it and stuff. And so where we had to practice was at softball field.
Because they had turf.
Yeah. But we
did cover that. That was before Fields and Fritchers went in and did their thing.
Yeah, dude, it sucked though. Like, yes, it was turf, but like, you can't play 11v11 on that field, especially softball field. It's like, it's impossible. So, but we had to make it work.
Ballers on that team.
Yeah.
Ballers on that. That's the same. I think that same group ended up going to play that tournament that we made, the Footy Festival.
Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah. And
they ended up winning it. If I'm not mistaken, I think their name was Milfchester City or something like that.
I don't know.
But they were good.
Yeah.
They were good, man. Was there a moment in that season that made you think like we got a chance? Was it that Clinton game?
Yeah, for sure. After that, it's like we didn't. I can't remember who we played semifinals, but I was like, we're not losing this game. And then in the final, we go down 1-0. We get scored on very early, and he's like, okay, we've been here before. You know, I didn't even have to say anything. The guys already knew. With the ball in the middle, let's go play. Then we just pop 3 on them. Pop, pop, pop.
In a suit.
In the suit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Y el portero, who was the goalie?
Christian Lopez.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lopez. I just wanted to give him a shout out. No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I guess now you have something to try to strive for. You know, you got that experience under your belt of the state championship. You got Joe on your wing. You know,
it's crazy to think about. That was 2019.
It feels like a long time ago, right? I mean, it was 6 years ago.
I haven't been back since. I haven't been past the. Well, no, I lied. After COVID, I stuck around. We made it to the semifinals. Yeah, but I was in prep that year. That was a good team too. But then after that, that's when I started with the girls.
We'll be back with the girls' side this time.
Yeah, it sucks. It's taking this long, but it's a process. Something that I've learned from coaching girls is patience and having a kid.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That'll definitely teach you patience. For sure.
Yeah. So hopefully it works out. Hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, no, it will. It will. To switch it up gears from high school, we can talk about club a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, you're coaching at
Sporting
Oklahoma. Yep. What teams are you getting this year? Do you know? Have they come out with the coaches slate for the upcoming season? Or
2010s for sure. 2010s for sure. Maybe looking into getting maybe 2011. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just gonna have to wait and see what the tryouts look like, especially now with that Sporting being MLS next.
Yeah, that's been a big topic lately. Sporting being MLS next. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's
crazy.
That's one of the biggest things coming around is the MLS Next League.
¿Tú qué opinas?
Speechless.
Really?
Like, wow. The fact that Flash and Matt have, made this happen is just crazy.
They were able to pull it off.
Yeah. I'm proud to say that, like, I'm part of this. So, yeah, because Flash has been asking me to go to Sporting for a while now. Basically been asking me since I started coaching in high school, and I've kind of just been like, nah, I don't really want to do club right now. And
have you done club before?
No, it's first
That's
time.
Your first season?
Sports. Yeah. Well, no. This is gonna be my second season. Third season with Sporting. Yeah, it's gonna be my third season with Sporting. Yeah.
Joe, are you gonna coach or what?
Yeah, I'm working on that too. Right now, trying to get the deal sealed with Southeast High School to continue that.
Yeah, that's been our main focus right now. Yeah,
you got to work on that contract.
Yeah, and then once that's finalized, then move on. I've been working and finalizing with Sporting as well to onboard with them, with the 2011 and 2012 boys. So that's been developing these last couple of weeks and hopefully finalized in the next 2. So
with the new facility out there,
just a new opportunity, and I think working alongside the team, the coaches at Sporting will definitely grow the club, the environment, and
well, that's a good area out there too. It's like out there, casi more Norman area.
Yep.
Yeah,
so they've done a great job in building those fields. Yeah, but first weeks out there, man, it was horrible.
Yeah, it's a grind, dude. Starting a project is always a grind. Yeah. There's always sacrifices that have to be made, but with MLS Next, I think it'll pay off. Yeah. A lot of people want to participate in those type of leagues, and I think they're also going to be able to participate in tournaments where they'll have an opportunity to try against the big teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because from what I understand, MLS Next is now in tiers, right? So there's like a second tier and a first tier.
MLS 1, MLS 2.
And this is them going into that second tier.
Yep.
But, I mean, at the same time, I've also heard a lot of people kind of be against it. You know what I mean? They kind of feel like it's dividing. What are you here?
I mean, this all happened back in, I don't really know what year, but It might have been like after I got done playing club, but when I was playing club, and I'm pretty sure it was the same with you guys, there was only one league. Only one league, and that's it. I think that was the best.
And then
that's
changed.
Peak.
Huh?
Yeah, that's peak club right there.
Who'd you play club with?
So I started out with Cosmos, and then I went to Celtic.
Yeah, I did a Cuervo. Yeah, and then after maybe my youth going into my teens, that's where I played Celtic, and then high school soccer just at Southeast.
Yeah, I was Cuervo. But I started late, yeah. I was already in high school by the time I got to fish around and start playing club.
Yeah.
Oh, the grind, though. There was only one league, though.
Yeah. That was peak, man. That was peak.
And so I think...
Seriously, dude, it was awesome.
I think right now it's pretty peak, too, though. Because now you have options. There's a lot more competition. Now we got the Football Factory sharing my pictures on their stories. You know what I mean? Like... I think right now it's pretty peak.
You think so?
Heck yeah. A lot
You think
easier.
it's better?
Easier, yeah.
I don't know if it's better, though.
What?
Because, like, you got one champion of this league. You got another champion of this league. You got another champion of this league.
Yeah.
Like, just too many champions. Like, are they ever going to play each other? Like, what? What's going on?
But they eventually play each other in high school.
Yeah, but...
They eventually do kind of play each other.
The kids, yeah, but not the teams.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the kids know. I think the kids know. Like, when you were playing club, you were just like, that. I mean, that team got it maybe more than you do. Because eventually you play the players and you're just like, all right, there's a difference.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the opportunity. I guess my argument is there's more opportunity.
Yeah.
More opportunity to get better.
Yeah.
But it was pretty peak back in those days. Back in those days when you used to go to tournaments and they'd have pictures of you on the sides. Hey, one guy gets a picture and then you get to buy your team picture. That probably still happens now, right? I'd be surprised if it wasn't happening. Maybe. But Coach Urbina and Coach Joe will find out when they start coaching club.
Yeah, I've been off of it for 3 years, so this will be my first year back. And
about to dabble back. Yeah. About to create new enemies.
Yeah, hopefully around the region. So
that's what it's all about, bro.
Around the nation.
Yeah.
If no one's...
Maybe international.
If they don't dislike you, you're not doing your job correctly. Is that a saying, or am I just making that up right now? Probably.
I don't know. I think I don't know, actually.
Like, if there's not haters, then you're not doing something right, or what?
Algo así. Are you excited for the World Cup?
Yeah.
Are you excited for the World Cup?
Yes and no.
Why?
The ticket prices.
We don't know the ticket prices. Actually, we've heard of rumors of what they could be.
They're insane.
What have you heard that?
Like $1,000.
I've heard that they would be like around $300.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'm excited. Sign me up.
Yeah, right. You know what I did end up doing? I don't know if you did this, but they at one time came out with the hospitality packages. Did you do research on that?
Yeah.
And what it was is that you basically paid a fee, $500 to get like an entry to other tickets.
Yeah.
So es como tu enganche, you're hooked. You pay $500 and then we'll add that on. But those tickets were $1,000.
Oh, okay.
But those are suites.
Maybe that's what I was looking at.
That's like penthouse up there at in El DF. That's why they were super expensive.
Dude, if it's not the case, man, I'm just gonna sit my butt at home and watch it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why not just go into debt and just file bankruptcy? That's what I've been contemplating.
I'm being in debt. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna be in debt for the World Cup.
Bro.
For the World Cup, bro.
That's what they're pushing us to do
Yeah.
that. You know
We'll pay it back.
All right.
We'll pay it back.
Get your dual citizenship, go open a bank account in Mexico, and then, pull some credit from Mexico and don't go back. If you had it your way, what would you want to go watch? Like, give me your perfect scenario for this World Cup. Because for me, I've always said that if I had it my way, I'd be at the inaugural game, the inaugural match.
The very first game.
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to be, though?
The US? The first US? Inaugural game? I think what they'll try to do is split it between 3 and call it 3 inaugural games. They'll have an inaugural
at the same time, though?
Not at the same time. Maybe different days. But what they're going to try to do is inaugural game in Canada, inaugural game in Mexico, inaugural game in US. That's how I think they're going to frame it to us.
But after the first game, like,
is
how
it
much?
Really the inaugural
yeah, it's
game?
like how important really is it? Like the second game.
Yeah.
I think I like the idea, but they'll probably be back to back. Like they'll have one and then 2, all on the same day though, just back to back.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
I'm just ready to be there. I'm gonna be there at the beginning and the end.
He's gonna be there like World Cup.
Who's making this theme song?
I don't know, but I know Speed needs to make another World Cup song.
But it's got to be like
Like the first one?
Shakira, like you know
Shakira?
what
What do you mean, bro?
Like Waka Waka, like come on,
you just
man.
want to see some hip shaking.
No, like a song of that magnitude, just
You don't think
know
the
what I
World
mean?
Cup song by Speed was of that
oh, it's
magnitude?
horrible.
Dude, it's so catchy. Like my kids listen to it and they just that's just the music nowadays. You're trying to be like Shamanamana.
That World Cup 2010.
That's what you're trying to do, right? And I'm over here like Suey. Nah, I mean, it's a good question. I wonder, maybe they'll make 3 songs, 3 different countries. Who knows? They'll probably have Kendrick coming out and do it. They not like us, calling out Drake during the World Cup.
Dang, if we get to see that at the World Cup, hopefully not.
Nah, I doubt it.
I doubt it.
It'll be in New York, though, the final.
You think so? I think so. Well, they haven't announced the final where the
New
final's going
York?
to be. But it is a U.S. one.
They'll make it in California.
They have
That'll
like
be in
Dallas, Jersey,
Yeah, Jersey.
and I don't think California's in the running. But there's so much politics that go behind that stuff,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
Well, I think we're
I don't
in a
know.
good spot because I know they're playing in Kansas City, right?
who
Kansas
is-
City, yeah.
World Cup.
Well, the World Cup,
is
yeah,
gonna be in
Kansas, Dallas.
Or Dallas, yeah.
We're going to host. Aren't we going to host one of the countries?
No, so what they said is that Oklahoma has 2 potential host sites. They can
Where?
have Norman and
Oh.
the practice facility on the north side where Energy used to practice. They're considering that a host practice facility
Oh,
for a
okay,
national
okay,
team to
okay.
come. So potentially, Oklahoma City or Norman could host an international team.
Just
Where
to
would you
practice,
put
right?
them? Where would you put them?
I'd say
Where would
Western.
I go?
You would just rent out Western for them?
No, I mean I think those places
I would say
work.
Norman, dude.
Scissortail Park.
I'd say Norman.
Put them at Scissortail Park. Bust them from the Omni.
Yeah.
Norman's field's probably the best field in Oklahoma.
Norman? Yeah, Norman, because they have the
feel
college
sick,
campuses,
dude.
so they'd be using some type of dorms,
It's sick,
maybe.
dude. You been out there?
No.
The
Well, I have been out there. I've seen
the soccer field?
but it's not as wide. It doesn't matter, though. It's a practice facility, you know what I
You
mean?
can lay on
And then
there.
which country would you invite?
It's not going to be no Argentina.
You're not going to invite Argentina?
It's not going to be Brazil.
I was thinking Brazil.
You think they're going to put Brazil here?
Yeah.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah. Who do y'all think?
No
Nah.
way. Probably like
Sweden. I don't know.
no.
It's not going to be Mexico.
Probably
you know?
like New Zealand or something like.
How many teams? They got 48 teams, so 48 host sites. 48 host sites, and Oklahoma City
Some-
happens to be one of them between Canada, Mexico, and the U.S.
I think it's going to be Brazil.
You think so?
In Oklahoma? You're crazy, dude.
Brazil's stationed at
crazy,
Norman,
dude.
and Joe's over here trying to find him at the Sooner Mall.
Brazil's like in California or
Yeah.
something, dude.
Florida.
Yeah.
They'd pull some type of stuff. We'll see.
Dude, what?
We'll make some bets. A ver quién
Brazil.
llega.
This
So who do you
guy.
think? You think, like,
I bet you they give like some
Greenland?
low rank
like
high
Greenland? He said Greenland?
Iceland?
Iceland or something? Or like
We'll see. I don't know. Chile. I don't know. We'll see.
Peru or something like that. Yeah.
But we are
Peru
there
here?
are a lot of stadiums around here.
Well, when will they make that announcement that we get selected as a host?
Probably once all the teams have qualified.
Yeah.
And then they can kind of next year, dude. That's already less than 2026. So a year and a half. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just about.
So when does it start?
2026 summer.
No, I know. Oh, summer. Oh, that's right. That's because you know how like last World Cup we had it in what was it November, December, right? Yeah, that kind of threw me off.
Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar.
Which is honestly, I always think about the Qatar World Cup. That should have been the World Cup we should have all went to.
Like Qatar?
Yeah, because of how
Why?
close all the stadiums were to each other.
Mm.
How I heard that the tickets were pretty accessible there.
Were they?
Compare them to the accessibility of the tickets that are going to be here. 'Cause everybody's going to want to go here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least with the people that are here. So there's people that would go to like multiple games per day just because they're like 30 minutes apart.
Okay.
Could you imagine being 30 minutes apart
That'd
from
be
like
sick.
multiple stadiums?
Yeah.
That'd be like going from Douglas to Yukon and from Yukon to El Reno to catch another one, you know?
Yeah.
But the World Cup is exciting, dude.
Yeah.
Definitely going into debt for that one, for sure.
Well, I think they just announced the U.S. is hosting the women's in like
That's right.
2031.
And do you know who's hosting the next World Cup after this one?
The
For
men's? It's Spain,
Morocco,
and Portugal, and then they're doing like an opening in like South America or something.
Yeah.
Where like the
Because
first
it's going to be like
games-
100 years. It's going to be 100 years of the World Cup going on. So in honor of it, they'll have it in Uruguay.
Oh, only?
Well, no, I think it's Uruguay, Argentina, and another
Brazil.
Paraguay. Somewhere. I don't think it's Brazil, but it's another one. So they'll have the first games there and then finish the rest over there.
Yeah, that's the one I want to go to.
Which one?
In Brazil?
Barcelona.
Oh.
And España?
Spain.
After that is Saudi Arabia, supposedly.
Wait, so they already said that the final's going to be in
Oh, yeah.
the U.S.?
Mhm.
Dang. Imagine the final being again in Azteca.
No, it's going to be in...
Just imagine, though.
MetLife.
That'd be cool, dude.
MetLife
3. The
Stadium.
only stadium to have 3.
When I went out there, that's what they were like. Oh, yeah, we hosted a World Cup. Maradona lifted the cup here. Like, that's not something to be proud of.
You showed him that picture of you nutmegging Neymar or what?
Yeah. I was pissed.
Hey, yo, you're a Tigres fan, right?
Yeah, well, that's the game that I want to go watch. When they robbed us.
You went to go watch them in Monterrey?
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been, yeah.
That's where I was going with that. That stadium in Monterrey is nice, bro. Which
You
one
been
is
there?
nicer, the one in Tigres or the Monterrey one?
Come on.
Stupid question, right?
Yeah. It's like an insult, I feel like.
The Monterrey one?
Compared to the Tigres one, yeah. Dude, they haven't.
That backdrop, nah. It's gonna be a World Cup stadium, isn't
Yeah.
it?
You gonna be there?
In Monterrey, probably.
Yeah?
We're going in debt, bro. We can go anywhere.
So do you think the ticket prices will be more expensive in Mexico or US or the same?
Nah, I would just like on a limb say that they would probably be cheaper in Mexico for the Mexican citizens, you know, but you know, if they see that you're trying to buy tickets from an IP address in the US, they'll probably bump up the price or something, you know.
Yeah. That's just gonna suck.
Yeah. But I always hear that the host countries get cheaper tickets. No different from like the Thunder tickets. You ever try to buy Thunder tickets? And they say, hey, you got to be from Oklahoma, this and this state to buy tickets.
Yep.
Thunder up.
Thunder up.
Thunder sweep.
Sweep. Who do you think we got in the next round? Actually, matter of fact, I think the Clippers and Denver are playing right now.
The Lakers and the Wolves are playing.
Are they?
And
Yeah.
if the
Oh,
Wolves
it's already
win-
over.
If
And
the
if-
Wolves win, then
By the time
Lakers
this
are
comes out, you know, but the Timberwolves are beating the Lakers.
Dang.
Ooh.
Braun out?
Denver are leading the series. I think we can win, though. I want to be there for the parade with that bus going down Reno.
I might go to game 1.
The bus going down 29th Street.
I went to
That
game
shit.
1 last year against Dallas.
Yeah.
We
The
won.
finals, the Western Conference.
I went to the first game, yeah, we won. And then after that, I just went down.
Yeah.
Losing.
I did catch
Luka.
the first game against the Grizzlies, too.
You
That was a
went?
good game. Mm-hmm. The 50-point win.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to take my son.
How was that?
It was cool. My son didn't know what was going on, but he loves the energy, the atmosphere. And
I heard it was like loud.
it was always loud, dude. It's so loud. But that's the cool thing about it, you know. My
Yeah.
son doesn't know the game of, you know, but he can yell defense. He can yell OKC. So it was
How old's
cool.
your son?
He's 7.
Oh, okay.
So he liked it. Now
Dude,
he's
he
like,
doesn't like soccer?
he doesn't like soccer now. Yeah, you're telling me, bro. I cry about it all the time. Nah, it'll work.
Not yet.
Nah, I think it'll come around to it.
Is he around it like every day?
No. I should have him here recording the podcast, huh?
You're like, you should be doing privates.
You should be, yeah.
I should be, huh? I feel like I'm really busy right now. So busy.
Are you still coaching or no?
I'm coaching the YMCA team, yes, but we've been rained out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And the way that it's looking, we might get rained out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But look, I learned something. I recorded a podcast with Coach Gabby last week. It's going to come out tomorrow. And you should give your kids a test. Give them a paper test, bro, to see where their knowledge is on the game. So if you have a certain formation that you like, put it on a test. Ask them questions that are situational. Like, what would our defense position be when the ball's here and their opponent's there? And make them all answer the same question so that you can see who is on the same page and who isn't. And then you can kind of see where you can bridge that gap.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, Gabby. That's fucking smart.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up and give my U8s a test.
Yeah.
And I really like that idea.
Yeah.
He's very big on PowerPoints and stuff like that too. But I picked that up on him, and maybe that's the next level. You know, making sure that your kids are on the same.
We'll definitely add that to our plans.
Repertoire.
Well, I'm surprised you don't already have all the best sessions with all the coaches you brought on.
I know, dude. I mean,
because we've definitely done like PowerPoints type sessions or like talks and stuff.
But you ever think about giving them a test?
No, never test.
How brilliant is that, right? I thought about that and I was like,
So there is something that I'm going to do this year, and I haven't spoke to them about it, but meeting with the kids one-on-one.
Yeah, that was
about the season. So meeting about the season, how it went, how they thought it went, just them personally. No, not the team, just them personally.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and then what the plan is for them for the upcoming summer and in the year, basically.
That's a good idea. The first time that ever happened to me was at MacU towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
but it was something that I wish I was like, man, maybe we should probably do that again.
So I did that with Mitchell or Sowerby. Yeah, Mitch Sowerby. But we did that in the middle of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of just like where
are we?
Yeah, where are we? Type stuff. But I don't think I've ever done like a one-on-one sit down with the coach, plan out what the next steps are, and that's I'm planning on doing this before school.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
If there's anything that I've learned by talking to all these coaches is that, you know, different coaches have different levels, different ways of leveling themselves up.
Yeah.
Some do it a lot quicker than others, you know.
Yep.
But the good ones, they're always working on themselves. In different ways. I think the personality also has a sense of how the coach is. You know what I mean? Are you working on your license?
Yes, I'll be doing my D license pretty soon. Yeah, and funny that you mentioned about just growing and stuff like that. So, it's probably been about a year or two now that I've actually picked up watching different sports and learning from different sports. So you might think, oh, he's a soccer coach. All he, watches is soccer. I've actually started watching baseball, started watching football, and basketball, and I've looked more into the details of what it takes to be a coach in those sports, and just kind of grabbing some of the details and then implementing into the soccer program.
No, that's smart.
Yeah.
Can you tell me of something that you've picked up on in any of the sports?
So in football, just like the idea of being a team. So for example, Bill Belichick, right? You know Bill Belichick, one of the greatest.
Is he the greatest, or did he have the greatest quarterback? The world may never know.
Who knows?
Just kidding. Okay.
But just watching interviews, watching how he conducts himself in front of a team, and this is one example. And I give this example this year actually. He told this in an interview. He's like, I tell my players every year before the season starts. So their season is, I think, about 17 weeks, however many weeks there is. So I'm just going to make up a number. Give me 17 weeks. Put all your BS in a drawer beside your bed. All the distractions, put it there, and just give me your full focus attention. Your focus attention 100% on this, and then whatever the outcome is, that's whatever happens. And then after that, you can go on about your life.
17 weeks.
17 weeks. And that's what I told the team in one of the meetings we had. I think this was... When was it? I think it was right before district. Started, I said, hey, team, give me a full month of just pure focus. Forget all the distractions, the boyfriends, the girlfriends, the whatever, right? Whatever you might have going on. Put it all away and just focus on this district games, right? Fortunately, it didn't end up working out. We set on the playoffs, but I think the girls worked hard. I think they deserve to be in the playoffs. But
Sometimes the coin falls on the other side of the
correct.
coin, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
But you're building for next year, dude, and you're gonna have Coach Martin. But I like what you said about doing it that way.
Yeah.
Just give me 17 weeks.
Give me 17 weeks.
But you're asking for more than 17 weeks. You're asking for now the summer and now the next
Yeah.
year. But it takes dedication, and it goes back to what you said is like providing them more opportunities to play Mas Futbol.
Yeah.
Because you said those 4 freshmen that came in, like you literally had to teach them how to kick a ball. And you think about those freshmen and the freshmen that you got now, and now with Limas kind of prepping your freshmen that are coming in, dude.
Yeah. Man, this is just getting started.
It is just getting started.
I promise you. Like, I started with this program for going into my 5th. This is my 5th season.
Do you teach there too? Or?
Yeah, that teaches Celtics. Yeah.
What do you teach?
Oklahoma history and civics.
For high school. Do you like teaching high school?
Yeah, I like working with kids. Like working with teens. So they're funny. Yeah, they can. Man, they just say and come up with the funny stuff, and it's like, what?
The other day they were asking me like, hey, what do you want to teach? And I thought to myself, well, I've never really thought about what I want to teach. But for some reason, thinking about high school just seemed overwhelming to me. And then you think middle school, and you're just like, nah, esos cabrones are like even worse than high school kids because, they're just figuring out. Elementary school kids, I was like, you know what? I have a 7-year-old. I can mess with 7-year-olds. They're pretty cool. They still listen. They still, look up to adults and have some respect, Yeah. But did you always know it was going to be high school?
No. Well, I don't even have a degree in education.
Oh, no. So you're doing like an adjunct teacher? Or?
Yeah. So do eCert. So the principal that I had, actually, I was coaching while I was during I think it was my junior year of college. Junior and senior year, I was coaching. I was Southeast already. So whenever I graduated, she found out I graduated. She called me into her office. She's like, hey, I want you to teach. My first response was like, hell no, I'm not teaching.
What did you graduate with?
Psych. Got a degree in psych. And I was like, I'm not teaching. What the heck? Me, teacher? Crazy. Like, I just told her that. And then she's like, all right, don't give me a response right now. Just think about it. So then I thought about it for a week and a half, and I'm like, what am I going to do after I graduate? Like, what am I doing, right? Because you can't really do anything with a
psych degree.
Yeah, and with the bachelor's.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to end up getting a master's, and then even then you're still pretty limited. You have to get
a doctorate. Yeah. Which thankfully I was able to. I went back and got my master's, graduated last year, but. So yeah, then.
Congratulations, Ross.
Thank you. So yeah, then I was like, man, you know what? Maybe teaching won't be so bad. And so then I say yes, and then COVID hits. Boom.
No way.
Swear. COVID hits, and then it's.
So you started teaching on the year that you got COVID? When did that started? Like in
2020.
But what month was it? Do you remember?
January.
Was it in January?
Yeah. So it happened in January when
That's when Rudy Gobert came into the Oklahoma City, huh?
So I don't get to walk the stage that year. But then I get hired at Southeast. I teach virtual for the first 6 months, right? Yeah, first 4 months, and then January we go back to in person, but we do like A and B type of thing, like Monday is A, Tuesday is B, type of stuff, like that. But then that's the year I took on the girls. Yeah.
After that state championship win. Was it after the state championship win?
So it was state championship, COVID, go back 1 year, we lose in the semifinals, and then the girls team.
But then they throw you into the high school class. Did you like it or what?
I was nervous, dude.
I can't imagine.
I was like nervous. I didn't even know what to say. It's like, dude, what am I?
You were like 22, 23 or what?
I was just fresh out of college.
Fresh out of college. Attack it like Pep, bro. What would Pep do?
So I just remember people telling me, just fake it until you make it type of deal. And I did.
And
like,
it worked? You just walked in like...
Yeah, I was like...
So tell me, what do you do? You walk in, you're just like, I'm going to be the stern teacher. I'm going to be the mean teacher. I'm going to be the nice teacher first and make my friends. Like, talking to a person that's never been a teacher, you know?
How many students? Like 30 students?
Yeah, just the regular
20?
class. Regular class. Freshmen.
You know what would have been funny? Like, someone just tries to test you. Like, it's like, yo, shut up. That was like, what do I do?
No, so thankfully...
Go to the office.
Thankfully, Southeast is an application school. So,
they hold that against you.
Hey,
if you're going to talk bad about me again, bro, you're going to Grant. Okay,
well,
okay.
I think we do a really good job about... just getting
I don't want to go to Capitol Hill.
The good kids. And so, even up until now, like, I haven't had an issue with things. Like, obviously, I've had, like... kids talking, while I'm talking, but that's just high school stuff.
Dude, I had an experience working, and we'll wrap this up here pretty quick. At Capitol Hill Elementary School, I went in like the last 3 months, and they put me in a role that watched over kids that had like ISS, and it was like 6 kids probably.
You said Capitol Hill?
Elementary school.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And there was like 6 kids of different ages, so you had a 2nd grader down here mingling with like a 4th and 5th grader.
Yeah.
And I got there, and the teacher lady that was supposed to be there with me, she would just leave. And I'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do, dude? Fake until you make it? And those kids did test me, bro.
Really?
Not like those high school kids you had. They tested me, and I was just like, well, damn, dude. Like, fresh out of college.
Find out.
Yeah. So I think the way I handle it and the way... And I might be wrong, but I sort of treat them like adults.
Because they're pre-adults, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, I don't, like, go up to them like, hey, turn in your homework. Hey, turn in your homework. Hey, where's your homework? I don't say that. This person didn't turn their homework in? All right, 0. Boom. I think, and this is something that you... probably in middle school, they're not used to. They're used to the teacher saying, hey, where's your homework? Hey, turn in your homework. Hey, turn in your homework. Not me. You're high school now. You're at Southeast. This is the standards I'm going to hold you to. And, I think it preps them. Like, it really teaches them to be responsible. Because, you've been in college, right? Do you have the professor ever hold your hand and say, hey, where's your homework?
Not at all.
What do they do?
Fat ass 0.
Boom.
Toma.
Boom.
¿Quieres otro? Toma. Another 0.
Yeah.
I got them all day, Gustavo.
Yep. And so I think some of them really have a hard time their first year because they're not used to it. But I've seen that just between just freshman and sophomore year, the growth that they have developed, man, it's a lot.
That's the difference between going to like a school like that and a public school is the standards and the expectations they have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Really, have you thought about where you're going to put your kid to school?
No. Maybe Southeast.
Maybe Southeast.
Yeah.
Southeast Elementary School?
Middle. They don't have an elementary.
Yeah, that's
maybe by the time he gets old, maybe they'll have elementary. But as of right now, no, they have that.
Aren't they making a new elementary school now?
No sé. For Southeast? No sé.
Not for Southeast, but just like a new elementary where they're combining like 2 schools.
I don't know.
No.
I haven't heard of that.
But my parents always said that it doesn't matter where you go.
It does. But I get where you're going to go with that. It's like it doesn't matter where you go because you can, no matter what, just try hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. Maybe I've been in a dark place and watching some dark videos, but I don't believe that's true either.
Really?
You know what I mean? Not everyone gets presented the same opportunities as others,
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go to a public school, but you could also go to a private school. There's a reason why LeBron James went to a private Catholic school. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to do it at a public school. Same thing with Kobe, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why people with resources put their kids in schools like that, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I think they say that because it doesn't matter if you go here or here. If you're not working your butt off, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, 100%.
I think that's what they're kind of referring to, or kind of, going towards like you still have to work your butt off.
No matter what, yeah. If you don't got the opportunity, pues dale. Sheesh.
Yeah, if you don't got the opportunity, then you got to work extra harder.
Mm-hmm. Bro, this is a soccer podcast. What are we doing?
Sorry. No, we're
Coach Joe
finalizing this season, man. It was up and down all around. I mean,
yeah. Let's talk about soccer.
50-50 this season. 50-50. We're left with missing it some more. So.
Sour taste.
Sour taste. That we're gonna try to take back and use it to have a good season next year. Right?
Yeah. No, I think that next year is looking pretty nice. This year was a good year too. I mean, I thought so. Definitely.
Yeah, it was fun,
I thought everybody had fun. I thought we made some.
And it still
made
might
some
not be
upsets
over,
out there, and we proved some.
Won some tournaments.
Yeah. It still might not be over though.
It still might not be over. It might not be over. It sucks though, dude. One game costs it, and it might not have been that last one, but like any other games. You know?
Wait, when is this coming out?
Next week. Hold on. I have Gabby tomorrow. Him next week, so it'll be the week after that. Probably state finals week.
Ooh.
16, 17. It'll be that week.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to all those that are in the playoffs, I mean, I wish we were in that. The boys will be in there.
Any predictions?
We'll be supporting the boys all the way through. And, I think 5A was strong this year. And our district was very strong compared to probably the other ones. And And I think if we were in any other district, we'd be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but
I
think ours was kind of like the group of death. And it was tough, and it could have went either way.
El grupo de la muerte, dude.
Let me use the restroom.
It could have went either way.
Let me use the restroom quick, because then we're going to get into predictions, because I'm curious as to where you guys think the bracket might go. Who you think your state championships are going to be.
Are you going to pause this?
We can. Yeah, we can pause it. Back from the restroom break. So tell me, your predictions on who you guys think are going to win state. You can guys give me any class, boys, girls.
I don't really watch, or I don't really keep up with like 6A or 4A. But I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say my Southeast boys. Southeast boys, or hopefully my boy Paulo, Bishop McGinnis.
Bishop McGinnis has been number
one too. Yeah. So hopefully one of those two, hopefully they can make the final. Yeah, is it possible?
Who?
To be in the
Bishop
final?
and Southeast? I'm not sure what side of the brackets they're on.
I'm
not sure.
You check.
But those are pretty good teams. I think it's...
Hope they both make it.
Bishop, Santa Fe South, boys.
I'm going to be biased though, by Southeast boys.
I heard Edison Prep's really good for the 5A boys.
Those are my guys.
6A boys, I don't know. It's up in the air.
Yeah, I didn't really watch much 6A. But I would think 3A, like Crooked Oak and Crossings.
Yeah.
Air Control.
Hopefully my boy Flash makes it. Shout out to Flash.
Flash?
Yeah. Where's he at?
That's your boy.
CCS. CCS. That's my boy.
If we were in it, we'd be contenders for the finals,
Oh, yeah.
The girls.
For sure.
Southeast. But, I hope someone from our district gets to make it all the way to the finals. Kind of give us a good overview of how this season went for us. If one of the teams made it really far.
It was a tough season. Anyone could have won district in that.
Yeah. No, that's exciting though. That's what high school sports is about,
They can make it fun.
They can make it
to
the final.
Southeast
That's your dream finals?
Yeah.
Southeast McGinnis. Who comes out? Who wins that one though?
I don't know. I mean, they already played once.
They did already play once.
Yeah. Bishop got them.
Coach Paulo with the tactics.
Coach Paulo, man. What are you doing, man?
I told Paulo, I was
My
like,
guy.
dude, you got that Bishop McGinnis role. Don't let it go ever again. Like, keep that. I want them to be in that field, Coach Paulo. Paulo field,
He asked me to transfer on.
What do you mean?
To go home and coach.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
He was like, hey, come on.
Yeah.
And what'd you say?
Can't leave.
Not Southeast. Do you what would make you leave Southeast?
It would have to be I don't know. No, nothing.
The Barcelona role?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
He's like, nah.
No. Like
a college role?
maybe
assistant role?
Maybe. but not a different school. I can't see myself coaching.
That's the thing about coaching is like depending on where your goals are for coaching. From what I've learned, it's like dictate the type of moves that you make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people just want to do that. Some people just want to do college, but
like you wouldn't be able if you were to say I'll give you all the money in the world to go coach Santa Fe.
To go.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
All the money in the world?
Nope.
I got a budget of look, man, you just have to coach the team. You don't even have to be a teacher.
No. Even if you offer me to go to every World Cup game.
But this comes from the Southeast Santa Fe South rivalry, huh?
Yeah.
That's been going since you were a player.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's safe to say that you just have a healthy rivalry going on there.
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Like that?
You know?
No, is this the case with all Southeast Santa Fe South?
I think so. I
think so,
because
you guys are both
sports? All of them or just soccer?
I mean, we're just going to talk about soccer since we just know soccer.
Well, I think it used to be Southeast and Grant was the first rivalry.
Yeah, I think so.
Think so?
Because it was from football. It stemmed from football and stealing the cannon and them.
No way, okay.
Or not stealing the cannon, but just
painting
the cannon.
So Southeast would paint the cannon? And
Yep.
Yeah, during football season, not soccer season.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of drug into soccer, and then as districts came about, Santa Fe became a rival for us.
Being down the street.
That's what it was, and
yeah.
and they run by our school, we run by their school, or whatever it may be. We drive by their school every damn day. They drive by our school every damn day, and
so this is a real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun one.
Now that they're. Because that's the middle school now, right? That's an elementary school there.
Well, the field. Their field's there though.
But before, when the high school was there.
When the high school was there,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And they were, yeah. I mean, it was just turf right there.
Yep.
Both sides. On Shields, both sides on Santa Fe.
Yep.
And
between 44th and 59th?
59th, yeah.
Damn. So with this that happened, it just doesn't make it better for you. Not at all.
What?
This is what just happened with the.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. It could be any other school, but this school just makes it worse. Yeah.
That's kind of what I figured. These guys from Southeast, obviously want that to happen. You know what I mean? But since it didn't, what makes it worse is the scenario too. You know what I mean? That what it implied. You know what I mean? That either a playoff spot or not.
Yeah.
So that's what just fucking makes it worse.
Yeah. Just and then just kind of so there has been meetings, discussions that we've had with OSSA, and just the responses that we've gotten from them. It's hard to explain.
They don't cut it for you, huh?
No. So the way I'll explain it is, or the way I took it is.
And you don't have to explain it.
No, I want to. So obviously we know that they played too many games, right? And if we go by the rules, then they should be disqualified, right? OSSA tried to say, well, then it's not fair to the girls, or any of the teams, boys and girls. It's not fair to them that they get disqualified. But I don't think they thought about the teams that didn't make it. So. How is it?
The ripples of the decision that they
did. Yeah. So because they say it's not fair to the kids, to their kids, so is it fair to my kids?
Is it fair to my team that has to play Santa Fe South first now? You know what I mean? I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
That's another example.
So is it fair to my kids that they worked their butt off all season, and now they're missing the playoffs because of this? Yeah.
Yeah, because ideally, even if they were playing their last game and win their last game, I think we're still in at this point.
We'll still be in, yeah.
But since they forfeited, the other teams kind of get the effect of that.
Yeah.
The gain from it, and we get the loss. So I would think 3 teams won that deal, and we're the one team that lost that deal.
Yeah.
You're right, because in your district it ended up with 2 or 3 teams tying with the same record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and that goes to show the amount of talent that we have in our district, or how close of a gap it is.
How many district games is it?
7.
I don't think that's enough, bro.
Yeah.
Because then stuff like this ends up happening where a lot of teams have the same record and we got to vote down by like, well, these guys might have the same goal differential, but he beat him and they beat them. But like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? It's like, and I was talking to, you seen the scoreboard app, the scoreboard that they're putting out those rankings that are some, you know, those rankings.
Yeah.
He says that in Alabama they play 25 games. 25 game high school season. And then, because he posts for different states, so whenever I presented this to him, he was like, well, they just played more games, like what's the big deal? That's how he took it at. And when he painted it that way, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right, you know?
I think the issue with that is just
it's
maybe...
a rule. The issue is that there's a rule.
Yeah, there's a rule.
You can't go over the limit, and that's a thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary.
What is?
Like, if the fact that they got away with this, what else could they get away with?
You think they got away with it?
Yeah, I mean, the rules are the rules, you know, and this situation has happened before.
But what we don't know, I think this is what I think is that how the rules are being interpreted. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's
and that goes to my next point. This thing has already happened before. Back in 2021, I don't know if you remember. Back in 2021, Lawton team, yeah, exactly. See, I mean, you've heard about it, right?
But what was the reason to them not?
Because of too many games.
Because they played too many games, or was it because they used an illegal player? You know, like
So like I said, there's been phone calls and there's been moves being made, and.
So where's the paperwork? Do they file paperwork for this type of stuff, or is it just like
No, I'm sure there's paperwork. Yeah, but
we gotta find the WikiLeaks, bro.
Monday when we find out, right? They're not changing anything.
Yeah.
So then us as a staff, right? Me and Admin from Southeast, we start working behind the scenes, trying to get this thing overruled or get them
done the right way.
Exactly
what you guys think is right.
And so then we start making phone calls. We set up a meeting or whatever. We made phone calls to Lawton, saying if that was the case, and they say that was the case. We got disqualified because of playing too many games. And we presented this information to us and they said
they didn't bite, huh?
Nope.
If it's gonna happen once, or if they're gonna allow us to do a play-in, where we just kind of go head-to-head one last time, and the winner of that match advances.
And that was proposed in
really?
the meeting. Yeah.
The play-in?
Yeah. We said, hey, to make it fair, because we obviously don't feel like it's fair, and I don't think no one does, right? If you ask all the community, do you think it's fair that Southeast is out of the playoffs? Right? I'm sure the majority will say no. Okay, and so we proposed, hey, have a playing game, just us and Santa Fe. This was done yesterday, Tuesday. We'll say.
Why would it just be you and Santa Fe though?
Because that's the teams that are being affected by it.
Because you guys have the same record.
Correct.
But there's another team with the same record too. Isn't there like 3 teams?
No.
It's just y'all 2 teams?
Yeah.
Well, I think at first it was us.
Duncan. Oh yeah, us and Duncan, but we would have been ahead of Duncan because we beat them.
Yeah.
But because they got the extra, or the extra win or the forfeit win.
When you guys played in the regular season, who won?
Santa Fe. Santa Fe beat us.
Santa Fe beat you guys. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's why they're in the playoffs, because they got the head-to-head. Even though we have the same record, even though we have more points,
it fell down to that one.
It came down to head-to-head. So it goes head-to-head, and then it goes record, head-to-head, and I think it goes like goal differential, whatever.
Yeah, dude. I think I'm curious as to how the rules ended up getting interpreted for them to come down to that decision.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, the rules are the rules, and it says it there clearly. Whether they, what I don't understand is why does some rules apply and some rules don't, right? The rules of playing too many games, they applied that by forfeiting the games, but then not disqualifying them from the playoffs
due to the forfeiting.
Forfeiting. How come that rule doesn't apply?
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, how the rules get interpreted.
Yeah.
Because maybe one penalty applies to it, but maybe just because the other penalty is triggered because of the other one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
where's the Latino when you need him? You know what I mean?
And the reason they have behind that is because it's not fair to the kids. But I'm just like, I said, how is it fair to my kids?
It's not gonna be fair to someone,
You know how, like.
Yeah, they should have just let the game play out, not have any forfeits. Let it play out, not have any forfeits.
But then people would have been complaining about the extra games. I think regardless, I think someone's
gonna get
complaining.
That's why it's just like let it play out. I don't think we were complaining that they had too many games until it affected us, Then it comes down to like, all right, well they forfeited a district game, so.
And if
shouldn't that cost more than just the regular?
If they're gonna be district champs, then that's where their season ends, Because I think that's where if they were to win that last game,
and that's what sucks too,
I think
they were supposed to be district champs too, and for the girls, like they didn't have any say in how many games we get to play. For those girls, they just show up and play.
Yeah, and it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault that
first time they were ever going to win district, and this stuff like this happens too at the end of the season. That's not fair.
And it's not fair for them, but the rules are the rules, and whoever made the schedule, that's a mistake they made, exactly. And so the way I see it is, I'm getting punished for following the rules, right? The team that didn't follow the rules is not getting punished.
Yeah, but some could say too that it fell on you guys ended up having the same record too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they could have forfeited earlier on in the season before district started. So.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching their schedule and someone catches that on your team or your staff, you're able to not let it play out as far as it did.
Yeah.
That's also another thing too. Like imagine if,
like you just kind of don't let it play out this far.
Yeah, that's another unfortunate.
Because that is in the rule book, right? Like if you're aware of it really early in the season, then you can forfeit a regular season game.
Yeah.
And then it probably wouldn't affect you.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's why I say it's scary, man. Because what else could they get away with?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like to look at it that way. You know what I mean? I wouldn't like to believe that it ended up being something like that. Like, we're just gonna get away with it, as opposed to it just being.
Because this is big. This is like it affected.
I guess we really just have to know like why.
Yeah.
Like, why did you guys? How did it end up like this? And
Yeah.
what were the decisions that made it end up like this? Because people still want answers. Like even with what happened and how it fell, people want to know why.
And maybe like because it didn't really affect the boys' side, because they're still in the playoffs, right?
But in a way it did, because the brackets changed. So now people that should have been facing each other in different places potentially
but
potentially seeing
so it affected a little bit, but I don't think not as much as it affected us. Maybe if we're on the boys' side, maybe this whole thing blows up even more than what it already is.
And that's funny. A lot of people are just talking about the boys' side of it. And what, the girls' side of it, like this situation here too.
Yeah.
And there's unfortunately a lot of other situations too. Like I've heard of games that just didn't get to play out. Like some district schedules didn't get finished due to all the rain too.
Yeah.
And now they're just brackets are already out. Like your game got canceled Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Like what do you do?
They should allow them to play. I mean,
how?
Just
Monday.
Extend it. Tomorrow should be good.
I wish they could extend it. Sometimes I feel like soccer just gets like the worst end of the boot. You know what I mean? And that's just because I'm a soccer person. I don't know how they play football, but like why not just extend it, right? It would be easy to extend it, but I guess those bylaws that they said just have to be followed.
For us, it's like, this sucks the way our season ended, right? But we can still look forward for next year, right? But you know who can't look forward for next year?
Those Allstaters?
Those Allstaters, the seniors. That's it. Their season's done. You could say their career's done. If they're not looking to play college ball, that's done. How is that fair?
Yeah, dude, the whole situation's not fair. There's a lot of people getting affected by it.
And I think they have to relook at it like that, you know? The rules are the rules, and we have to obey, you know? Because, you know, what if it was us that did it? You know, would they have done the same thing? Or what if it was a different school?
We just gotta know
Right.
how those rules are getting interpreted, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. I think once like they put out, this is how we interpret the rules, then we can look at it and be like, I think you did wrong, or I didn't understand
Right.
how
And
you
it probably was just presented like a one plan rule break instead of the whole
everything, the
two
trickle
sections
effect
type
that
thing.
happened
Like,
with
hey,
it.
these two
But the-
sections have been broken.
Yeah, the worst part about it is that we just don't know, and
Why do you think they don't come out and just say?
I don't know.
Just tell us, like, I would just want to know. I just want to know the truth. You know, I think my girls want to know the truth as well.
Hopefully it comes out.
I hope so, because I mean, like I said, I just feel bad for even the juniors too, because like, I mean, they're gonna be seniors next year. It's like, well, you know, they're kind of wasted our junior year. You know, should make playoffs. We have playoffs the year before, right?
I wouldn't say it like that, bro. It's not a waste, bro. You guys had such a great year.
Yeah, but it's like,
But for it to come down like that.
yeah, like the way it ended, right? I know we didn't go backwards, but it kind of feels like that.
Yeah. Feels like the story was not finished like it was supposed to.
Writer's block.
You're just like right there. And they just snatched that book like, no, we can't write it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know what to say, bro.
Making playoffs is a huge deal, you know what I mean? Especially for my girls. That's like one of the things that every year when we meet is like, okay, this is our objective, is to make playoffs. And then, but this past year, that wasn't our only objective. The objective was to make to the final. The state final. That was before, that was our own, like, the number one objective just because of the past that we've had, right? The Southeast girls soccer has never really, you know, been in a competitive, have never been a competitive team, right? And then last year, just to be able to compete and be in a playoff game meant a lot for them. Meant a lot for them.
Yeah. Well, I agree, bro. You guys are gonna make the playoffs too.
Yeah, no, it's rigged. I mean, we scored against Santa Fe. They called it back, and here we are, still at the end of the season with another penalty that they're calling back. So it's rigged. So we're just gonna have to run it back next year even stronger. This season was,
You're not the only people that say it's rigged, bro. I hear that so much.
You know, because we did score, and the actual district game head to head, we scored 2-1 on them, and the referee called it out. So it was a clear goal from us, and it was a missed call from the ref in that match. And I think that moment right there, we should have ended that game with the win, 2-1. But they scored in overtime, and they won the game in the end. But that's how close our season's been. You know, even up to our last game against Lawton Mac, we hit the post. You know, we didn't finish. The other team hits the post, and it goes in.
Yeah.
So
it turns out the keeper did save it.
the
keeper made a save and then it hit the post. It was like crazy save. Like it was like a free kick and like we get a volley and like keeper like extends all the way, fingertip save, hits off the post and it's out. We're just like, oh,
bro,
and like you said, and then they shoot it, hits the post and it goes in.
Kind of like Rafinha's goal today. I don't know if you got to see that one, top of the box. Hits the goalie, top bar, back hits the goalie in the back, and then goes in. This one.
I saw his assist, though. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Gustavo, bro, I wish I had the words to kind of make make it feel better, but there's nothing I can say that'll
let
it do.
No, it's tough, and I think we'll be stronger next year for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, more focus.
This is gonna be
more hunger and more
Oh, yeah.
motivation, and
you know,
all that competitiveness is just gonna be stronger next year.
I just want to let people know that we're coming. This is just a start. Oh yeah, this is just a start. This This has been a process.
Yeah.
This has been a process. It's been a I want to call it a what I want to call it. What should we call it?
I don't know. I just hope that you use it as fuel. You know, like let this be like just something that you can use as fuel, because there's no other way we can look at it. Like,
Yeah.
that was
can't
like
wait.
más que
Nah,
fuel.
shout out to Gustavo and the staff, the players, the managers,
Yeah.
the teachers, the parents,
Yeah.
the media team. You know, I think everybody put in work this season, and it was fun. It was memorable, and you know, it's definitely gonna be unforgettable. It could be either way.
Oh yeah. We can
Um,
always like, hey, do you remember that one year? You know, we missed on the playoffs because of whatever. You know, that was crazy.
For sure, bro. They're gonna be recording podcasts like 10 years from now talking about that shit.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean,
It's a shame, but I mean, man, I don't have the words, bro.
Yeah.
Me
But-
neither, but I'm ready for sunrise.
Sunrise.
this is a project. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, it's a
It's
project.
a project.
And I'm glad to be a
Project,
part of
yeah.
it. And
The project that I started 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Yeah. But no one knows about it. Just up until now.
You told us your secret.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
We're coming.
it's coming.
Be ready.
That project's coming along then.
Be ready.
Well, I appreciate you guys for coming on, sharing the story. That's a tough one, bro.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Just want to tell the whole state, be ready. Because we're coming.
Southeast Girls with Coach Joe and Coach Urbina. Do you guys have anything else to say, bro?
thank you to the podcast for having us today, the #1 podcast in Oklahoma. Shout out Ricardo and his team.
Yep.
Dude, it takes a team right here. I got the producers working the lights, someone else working the cameras, AI editing the video.
Yeah, shout out to all the coaches, though. Shout out to all the coaches in Oklahoma that are growing the game, the beautiful game, the best game sport in the entire world. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all the players in the playoffs. Hopefully you guys have fun. Enjoy this, because, man, this only happens once a year. So, and compete, man. Compete. Because that's what it's all about, competing, making each other better. So,
We'll leave it at that.
yeah.
Peace.
Round 1 coming soon.